Okay, today we have Saving Princess of Mars made by Hrvoje from Croatia. So yeah, that's awesome. This is the landing page for the game. You can find the link to it down below if you also want to try it out, which I recommend. First of all, I would say black and orange color combination is one of my favorites. So I like the look of it. I like the GIF animation of the title of the game. And let's see, so it's a platformer in pixel art, of course. And we have, okay, so this is like a demo, which you mentioned. And let's see how it goes. Okay, let's go into the game itself. Okay, so here we are. Uh, let's go over the main menu itself before we continue on. First, again, there's the GIF animation for the title of the game, which looks nice. We have some gradient animation for the sun, I think. I'm not sure that you would see so many details on the planet from space, but then again, perhaps it's something specifically made for this game. Let's see the about page. Okay, we have the options. Okay, what are the defaults? I have reduced the music volume just a little bit. Now, I would say when it comes to the volume, if you have music volume and sound effects volume, so you have two volume bars, then you may also introduce the third volume bar, which is the master volume, because right now I don't think there's that much difference between master volume and music volume. Essentially, if the master volume is also influencing sound effects and music at the same time, but we cannot choose the sound effects right here if we have any, you know, it kind of messes up. So I would say if you have only music in the game, just use one volume bar for the music. That's all there is to it. If you have sound effects and music volume, use two bars for each of those, and then as a third bar you have the volume bar. I also really like that you can choose the language and choose the Croatian language. So that's also great because it also shows me that you have architecture in the game made in such a way that you can introduce more languages later on, and it would essentially save a lot of time on development. So that's great actually. Okay, so let's go and see the game itself. Okay, loading done. First of all, the music sounds good. It fits nicely in this sci-fi theme. So let's see. Okay, we have a nice intro cutscene. Okay. Alright, so the cutscene itself told us that we can jump, so I'm not sure that we need the help when it comes to the movement. But I guess maybe for total beginners in platformers this could prove useful. I would like that if I press the space bar that I would close down this dialog window, which by itself also looks great. So yeah. Okay, I like the idle animation, which I'm noticing right away. Okay, one thing I can immediately do and test the movement of the platformers in the game is moving just left, right, and jumping and see how it feels. And I would say it doesn't feel responsive. So this is one of the main things you would definitely have to work on, because if I hold the left arrow key and move and stop holding, he's still moving for like a third of a second. And in platformers where responsiveness is very important, this needs to be as tight as possible. Let's see if we have the variable jump height. No, we don't. Okay, so I'm just going to press the space bar as fast as possible and do the same thing on with the right arrow key. See, so I basically doing nothing and he's still moving for like a second in the air. So that's not responsive. I would say go on YouTube and find variable jump height and try to implement it into the game. And what essentially that is if I hold the space bar a little bit, the character will jump only a little bit. And if I hold it for a long time, the character will jump higher. And that's, I think, really crucial. When it comes to design of this world, I would say it looks nice. For the background elements, even though there is a nice contrast in saturation, I would say that remove or don't use these harsh outlines, like shaded outlines for the pyramids in the back. So just try removing those and use basic shading without any harsh outlines. Okay, so when it comes to the clouds in the sky, do you see how one pixel on the bottom of the cloud, so not the most bottom one, but the one above it, is transparent? Let's see if we can find some clouds. Okay, another cutscene. Okay. 2 moons. Yeah, okay. I like the fireflies, it feels quite lively. Same goes for the fossils in the ground. Nice details. Another cutscene. Okay. Okay, so I'm playing this like for what? 15 seconds, maybe, like if I was just to move. And we already had 3 cutscenes. I think that's maybe a bit too much. I like the idea of character conveying his thoughts to us, which is really nice for storytelling, but it kind of messes up with the perception of like it kind of messes up with the flow of the game, at least for me. Now, do you see what I'm talking about when it comes to the clouds? The bottom pixel of the cloud is like dark purple color, and then the pixels above it are transparent, and they convey the, well, whatever is in the background. Now, the clouds, at least on Earth, don't function like that. They have density, so if there's a cloud, you don't really see through it. Okay, maybe if those clouds are very thin, then a little bit of the sky can be seen through, yes. But generally speaking, the clouds have density and you don't see them like that. Especially if the cloud is ending here, you cannot see anything in between. So why is the bottom of the cloud opaque and like the middle of the cloud is transparent? It doesn't just feel right. Okay, moving on. So we have control for attack, which we were able to read. Okay, so 2 hits to kill. Now, I see on the top left corner that we have the attack and health bar. And again, the attacking doesn't feel responsive because we have this delay between attacks. And on one side, I think the reason you have implemented that is because you don't want the player to be able to just spam attacks and basically kill enemies like that, right? In which case, I might suggest implement like a different type of attack. Overall, I don't think the attack bar is functional because when you are fighting the enemy, I'm looking at my character and I'm looking at the enemy and I'm like clicking attack or jumping, whichever it is, but I'm not looking at the top left of the screen where the attack bar is, especially because the timing between 2 attacks is maybe like half a second to a second at most. So the purpose of that attack bar is basically non-existent because I'm not gonna be looking at it when I'm fighting. Maybe if it was like a special attack bar, maybe then, but otherwise, no. Okay, so let's keep on moving. Okay, I see that's a nice reference to Mario. Okay, so this is a checkpoint, I believe. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I like the design of this trap. Oh no, I skipped a dialogue. Oh well. So this is an insta-kill, so this is something like spikes in all other platformers. What I would say is make that eye on the ground bigger, so we know there's a trap there, especially because I feel like the range of insta-kill is quite wide when compared to this tiny eye. So let's keep on moving. Okay, so let's see how wide the range is for this eye. See? Now, that's way too wide for such a tiny eye as a warning. Okay, so let's keep on moving. Again, I didn't notice that one. Yeah, see this? Because right now in the air I wanted to move a little bit to the left, but I wasn't able to because the response time isn't as tight as it could be. So let's keep on going. I'm just gonna try to avoid enemies to see. Okay, so we have the princess. Okay, another cutscene. Okay, one thing I would say is give me the option to skip the dialogue. And in two ways. On one side, so that I can skip the specific dialogue box. For example, if I read just one dialogue box and it's just too slow to move on to the next one, which in this case is, I can read like 3 or 4 times the dialogue box before it moves on. And not everyone reads as fast as I do. In fact, I'm quite a slow reader, in fact. But give the player the option to skip the dialogue box and give them the option to skip the entire cutscene if they want, which is especially useful for like speedrunners and people like that. Okay, so we have to find the key. So it's there's quite a heavy focus on the storytelling here. But yeah. The monster is similar but seems quicker, okay? Okay, so this one requires 3 hits instead of 2. This princess, she's obviously nicer than a bag of walnuts, but... Okay, fine. And she reminds me of... Oh, come on, dude! Yeah, that sounded wrong, for sure. Okay, let's move on. Okay, another checkpoint. I'm just gonna like rush to the right side and see where the key might be. Okay, there's the key. Can I go even more on the right? No. You know what would be cool? For example, here. If I can hit the wall and maybe discover a secret area, that would be nice. Okay, I got stun locked. Same for this one. Okay. Okay. Can I go from the above? Okay, we are almost there, I believe. Okay, so here's the ending. Okay, the cutscene and the effects are nicely adjusted, definitely. The end. Or is it? Okay, so I'm gonna turn off the music. So let's see. Now, I would say the game overall is good. I like the storytelling. There just might be a bit too much of cutscenes in the beginning for my taste. But overall, I like that the character is sharing his thoughts with us, which is really cool for storytelling. The overall visuals are nice, the music fits in. I would say that the main issue with this game is that the controls for the character are not tight. They are not responsive as they should be, at least in platformers. Because remember, the less features you have in the game, the more those features should be functional. So if you have only jumping and attacking like melee attacks, those two things should be as polished as possible. So I would say for the next step, polish the movement of the character. Like introduce variable jump height, remove the attack bar on the top left corner, and try to time the attack in such a way that you can design your enemies around it. Perhaps even remove the attack completely, who knows? Or introduce maybe a ranged attack if you are worried about stun locking the enemies like that. Perhaps throw a boomerang, or I don't know. So those are just basic ideas, right? Overall, it's really nice. Again, polish the movement, and I hope to see more updates on this game. And if you also want to try this game out, you can check it out down below. I will leave a link to it. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and remember, just, relax and have fun.